just to point out, like, how sometimes loot containers can be worth keeping around. The WT rig's a classic, right? It's a 3, and then it's got another 3, so you won 3, and then you got that extra 1. So that's not really worth. The bank robbers become a pretty handy one. For every 6 you get 2, and obviously clothes, food, commando, you get that extra 4. And then you get into kind of like the late game high end shit, right? You get alpha rig, which alpha rigs are nice for fighting because if you use those 45 round mags, they're a 3x1, so you can actually reload those with the alpha rig. Whereas like with the drum right now, I gotta reload that, which I could actually. I could reload a drum with an alpha as well. It would be able to fit there when I hit the R button. But for storage, it's +4. So technically, this is actually worse than something like a Triton. MK3 is great for storage, right? Because it's got all this extra versus its 3x4. And then last night I found something very interesting on a scav. A belt rig. This is almost like the grenader's wet dream, right? You can just have nades everywhere. But as far as keeping it around for storage, it's worth almost 40 grand. I thought about selling it. But I mean, you're talking what? 5 plus 4, so 9 extra squares on a 4x4. But if your storage consists of like MBS backpacks, you're nothing being gained here, right? There's nothing being gained here unless you put containers like that inside of it, right? Makes a little extra room. So yeah, it's Tetris. It's always Tetris. It's Tetris buried within Tetris. This only has what? 4 extra slots, so even that's not technically RIP storage, but it's better than nothing. Yeah. Anyways, thought I'd just point that out. This is a great one yeah, that's a pretty good one. For being a 3x3, that's actually really good. I think level 2 Ragman will sell these to you as well, so maybe not, but if so, I'm going to upgrade. Like, I'll swap out WT rigs for these. Soon, though, hopefully you get shit like Scav Junk Box, maybe an item case if you're real lucky. Stuff like that. Cool. You're looking at a lot of shit. You don't know what you should keep, who you should sell it to, right? So you want to sell something, right? Alright, so you go and you check, who's going to pay me the most, right? That's how we're always going to sell stuff. It's not a bad way to do it. You're always making the most money. So a mechanic usually buys the most, or pays the most for gun parts and guns and such, so I sell a lot to him. As you can see up here, this is the next loyalty level. So even when you sell stuff, money is going towards this. Alright, so level 20, I'm not going to get level 2 with him until level 20. I need at least 0.15 rep, which right now, by doing tasks and stuff like that, I got 0.34. And I've got almost 700k spent, which is great, right? But level 20 is a ways off. Who I probably want to start focusing on because I've neglected Skier. Like, he's not the best to buy from. He used to be. He's not the best to sell to. So he gets neglected a lot. So to try to make up for that, use a little off the top end, but slowly but surely, right? Like, I got this in raid. Like, it didn't cost me a thing to get, right? So it's all profit. And that goes towards that, right? And that's going to be sooner. So I need to start focusing on him. Got enough rep. Therapist, like, I'm knocking on the door of level 13. And because she pays the most for this type of stuff, obviously, a lot gets dumped to her, right? So that 400k was surpassed eons ago. Prop War, I use him for all my insurance and a lot of my repairs. So a lot of money gets thrown at him through that, let alone selling stuff to him. Another thing I started to do to try to help Skier is Skier offers to repair stuff. So, like, let's say, I don't have any examples on hand, but, you would go right-click repair, proper repair this gun for 1900, Skier, he does a little better of a job, costs more money. Mechanic does a really good job compared to all of them. And well, Mechanic, obviously, like we said before, we're selling a lot of shit to him because of what he gives us for parts and stuff, so I'm not worried about that. And usually I use prop order just because it's cheapest, and that's what it's all about in the early game, is just saving money. But by doing this, I'm spending a little more, but all I'm spending is going towards his loyalty, right? And he's giving me a little bit better repair. So just as an example, to prove that that still works. So 319.5 spent. Let's go back to character. There used to be out of habit. I'm going to put it in here. Repair. I'm just out of habit. I like armor and shit. I put over here, then I repair it, then I put it back. Alright, so I'm going to paste gear. And there you go. Little something something. So you just want to pay attention to that type of stuff. If you're like selling everything to this dude, you know, and you're looking at like 1 million here, and like, you know, level 20 is the next step, like it might not be a bad idea to move off to a new trader. Just, you know, you won't get as much money off the top, but you're working toward that big number, right? Especially here, like level 10 if you're not level 10 yet. You know, selling him gives you USD, which how often do you use USD? Well, you're going to use it sooner, because when you hit level 10, you get level 2. And all of a sudden, he's got all this shit for sale. As level 2 trader. Including the old beta container. So, yep. Alright, just a little tip for that. And once you finally flea marketed everything you don't want, and tried to make room for what you do want, you get to reap the rewards. Old Ragman. He gives you the prize from what they paid on the flea market, which, yes, it does time out, so sometimes you make big money on the flea and you don't want to forget about that. Receive all, it auto stacks, bada bang. Slowly but surely, creeping toward that scav junk box for 2 mil. Nice.